I've got 3 games in my hand from 2 different consoles. I don't want to flash them too much so you can see. 2 Nintendo Switch games. One of them's a PS4 game. In 2023, these games were big hitters. I'm talking silly money. All 3 of these games I have overpaid. I've paid way too much. I've hit the top end. Idiot. Absolute idiot. What a schoolboy mistake I have made. Every single one of these games has tanked. And I mean tanked. Like last year at CEX, these games were worth double to triple. I'm talking and then some. Every single one of these games we're going to start worst to first. And they are, the price they've decreased is from 50% to 100% plus. The last one, the final game, stick around for the end of the video. You're going to be absolutely shocked how much is tanked. Let's jump straight in. Let's jump straight in with a PS4 game. We'll leave the 2 Nintendo Switch games. This one's a very interesting one. This is Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is probably my top 3 favourite game. They said favourite game. For online multiplayer, my second favourite game of, I almost say all time. Definitely the last 5 years or so. So Dead by Daylight, I'll put some footage on the screen for you guys to see. It is sort of like 4 survivors versus a killer. Online co-op or couch co-op, if you will. You can do both versions of those, and it's fully licensed. So a game, for example, like this, which I've really enjoyed, is Friday the 13th. However, they lost the licensing agreement. It was the best game in the world, but they couldn't update it. It crashed. They couldn't keep it alive. There is a real fan following. If anyone does play Friday the 13th, you can tempt me back in. I own it digitally and physically for Nintendo Switch. And it's got a real cult following. I've even played online with some of the actors and actresses that featured the voice acting for that game and film. So, yeah, I could not say a bad word about it, other than the fact that the game is ruined. So, yeah, I have said a bad word about it. But then along came Dead by Daylight. Everything we wanted Friday the 13th to be. It had killers from every movie you can think of. Had licensed killers, and they still keep it up to date to this day. You've even got the likes of Chucky, who's been added. I haven't played that. There were so many licensed killers like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Things which are brought into this game from real horror films that you've seen. It is absolutely fantastic. I'll try and pop on the screen a few different killers so you can see, because they're not coming to my head right about now. I've not played it a long time. However, I have played it for a very long time. I have played this game, I reckon, almost close to 1,000 hours. I've played this game for about 300 hours just on Nintendo Switch alone. I've played it on the Xbox for probably about 100 hours. And I don't know what else I've played it on. I've got it on Steam. I've played this game definitely a good 500 hours. Maybe not 1,000, but that's a lot of hours. This game is such a laugh. Such a good time. Really, really enjoy it. Now, the reason why I've paid way too much for this game is I've got it digitally. I've got it physically. I don't need it. This was a Nightmare edition, a DLC edition that featured Stranger Things. Now, at the time, Stranger Things was a hot series. We all watched it. And the characters you paid for the DLC in the game digitally, they were on there. And then I went to play, I had the characters digitally, I owned them on the Switch. I went to play the game on the Xbox, I think Series X, it was on Game Pass. And all of a sudden I noticed the characters weren't there. And I was like, hold on a minute. I looked it up, and whatever it is, I don't know, is there a free series of Stranger Things? But the series had finished, it was done. And they didn't want to pay for the relicensing. They thought it's not current, we don't need it to keep the game survived. We've got a cult following, we don't need it. So they removed them. You could no longer buy them. If you had them, if you paid for them, you still had them, but you couldn't buy them right now. So they was gone. And then I found Dead by, I was like, right, I want to build a little collection up. Is there a collector's edition? It's one of my favourite games of the modern era. And I found this Nightmare edition, only available on PS4, even though I've never played Dead by Daylight on the PS4. So it's got the DLC burnt into the disc, which means they can't take it away. And from a video game collector perspective, or a retro game collector perspective, it's all about the digital. It's all about the physical, sorry. It's all about digital. Because once you've got it, they can't take it away, baby. So this game went high. When I say went high, for a modern game, it did. So at the time, I thought I was getting ahead of the curve. It was £60, which is silly, because this game's like 15 to 20 quid. You can pick it up 10, 15 quid on the Xbox or PlayStation, or Nintendo Switch. You always pay a premium, it might be £20. Price on the screen right now. Now, at the time, this game was £60 because it was the only way you could have these characters if you didn't already purchase them. She wanted Stranger Things. So I said to the missus, look, this is one of those games that's going to go up. This game has got a cult following. There is so many movie franchises tied in with this. It's a horror cult classic, an absolute fantastic game. Really is. And I was like, I want to jump on it. This game is going to go triple figures. And I thought, I was an idiot. I thought this was going to go into the £100 plus. I really thought it would do. So I thought, they're never going to stop Dead by Daylight. They'll never cancel online servers. And in 5 years' time, people will be going, oh, do you remember the Stranger Things characters? So you get an extra killer, you get 2 survivors, you get an extra map. So I got the game, really proud of myself. Then Netflix announced another series. So then Dead by Daylight wanted to rebirth their licensing. So they reapproached and they put the licensing back on. Next thing you know, DLC was available digitally. This doesn't mean it won't go, but this has tanked. So all these games I've brought from 2023, they've all tanked price in 1 year to 2024. I paid £60 for that. It's now worth £15. What a mug. But it may go back up. Will it go past the amount I paid? I don't know. But I did pay £60. I put the proof on the screen. I paid that much, so I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. So yeah, all 3 of these games. That's the third one. We'll save the best for last. So second up, again, a very expensive game at the time. Yomawari. This is a Long Night collection. There's a Lost in the Dark version as well. These were PS Vita exclusives. This particularly was 2 PS Vita games. There was a third game announced on the Nintendo Switch. It might have been other platforms. It done really well. I've got that behind in the collection. In those games you can see behind me. Then they announced this Long Night collection, and it was sort of a limited run sort of print, you know. It wasn't your run of the mill. You can probably see from there, I don't even think this is a PEGI rating. I don't think I could even trade this into CEX. I brought this from Amazon. I didn't pay the full whack, but at the time when I brought this at CEX, this game was £110 with those 2 games on. Because the successor of the third version Nintendo Switch, they put these together and everyone was like, yeah, I want this. Not everyone caught the PS Vita version. A bit like on the Switch, there's a lot of re-releases of Wii U games, and everyone thinks they're original exclusive to the Switch, but they're not. They're Wii U games that no one's seen. So this was a lot of money. This was £110. I didn't pay that much, but I definitely overpaid. I definitely brought it for... Similar to the Final Fantasy collection, that was like way over 100 figures. 100 figures, triple digits, £100, and I got it for like 80. So I got it like £40 cheaper off Amazon. But I think it's because it's not the power version. So I think I've been an idiot again here. There's no PEGI rating, so I don't think I can trade that in. I don't know why it's gone like that. Yeah, it's not PEGI rating. Don't think I can trade that in. And I paid probably, yeah, 80 quid. Didn't quite pay £110, but I definitely paid a lot of money for it. I don't think I got it from CEX. I'll pop it on the screen if you can see where I got it from, if I've got my receipt. But right now, this game is £40. £40. That has gone up over 100%. You can see where this is going. The last one went from £60 down to £15. Sorry, gone down that much. So yeah, it was £110. It's now £40. So yeah, it's gone down 100% minus. Now this next game, you've seen the footage of that. That is a good game. Very good game. Very, very fun. It's brilliant. It's worth the money. But what is the reason for that? Let's talk about that. We know the reason for this because the DLC came back. But I'm not aware of extra prints on these. Did people realise it was on the Vita and didn't know before? I don't know the reason why this tanked. I would love to know from you guys in the comments. I've got no idea why that tanked. The game before, I know why it tanked. The game coming up next, I know exactly why it tanked. This, I've got no idea. So if you know why it tanked, please let me know. So this third game, which was at CEX in 2023, £195 for a Nintendo Switch game. I shit you not. £195 in 2023 when a console is at its peak. It's not overstayed its welcome. It's not been around for a minute. It's there, you know, 5 years into its life cycle. And yeah, £195. And it's tanked down to £75. It's back on the way up. It was, I think, even as low as 40 at one point. Now, this game out of all of them is one of those ones where you'd be like, do you know what? I can see that. Now, I want to give a shout out to Legally Insane Gamer if you're watching this. Because you say you are the king of co-op. And if you're the king of co-op, then you'd know this game. Bosh. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. It's a super rare game. It's a super rare print. It's also number 4 from super rare games. And I've started to notice a trend. Super rare games been out for a long time now. And I don't know what number we're up to. But they're not selling out anymore as much as they used to be. They used to sell out almost every other game. Some would go silly money. But now, the last 5 games or 6 games plus, they're not selling out. Whether they're printing more, I don't know. Some of the early releases are getting a lot of respect. Now, this game, as you can see from the footage on the screen, is couch co-op mayhem. It is such a fun game. I've talked about this before. I've previously done a video. The reason why I've got all this footage and evidence of how much I paid for these is about a year ago, I did my best games on the Nintendo Switch, top 5 of 2023. I also did the most expensive top 5 games from CEX of 2023 for Nintendo Switch. And Bosh, this was in there. Might not have been first, you have to watch the video. It might have been second. It was definitely in the top 2. There was another game similar priced, which has held its value. But yeah, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. This game was absolutely awesome. Now, the problem with low print games is they won't stay low print forever. Now, there's a reason why this game has tanked in price. The game is so awesome. It's done so well. More people went to play it. I had it digitally. I wanted it physically. The price on this went up so dramatically, like way beyond anything else. Like at the time of that video which I made, there was no game behind it. It was a good £50 or so. This was like sky's the limit. All of a sudden, Limited Run Games announced a physical release for that. And I think this is what's affected super rare games in general. Because super rare games, everyone's like, and myself included, you're like, right, that's it. That's the print. It's a super rare game. That's the print. However, another publisher could agree terms with that developer and go, I'm printing X amount of games. And that's what's happened here. This game's printed so many copies. I don't know the number. They've sold out. The second market's gone mad. Then 2 years later or so, the developer's gone, let's print some more physical. And it's gone to its rival, Limited Run Games in America, and printed some. So I don't believe you can trade that version into CEX, but at some point you'll be able to. Because I said on my last video, you can actually buy Limited Run Games from Argos now, certain ones, and certain titles, not all of them, certain titles you can trade in at CEX. Jurassic Park is an example, the Jurassic Park collection for the Switch. So yeah, this game was £195. I didn't pay that much, but I definitely paid a lot. I didn't buy this at launch. I'm pretty sure I paid £100 or so for this game. So I've made a mistake. I've definitely tanked on this one because this game's £75. When I first looked, it went down to £40 because that's how much Limited Run Games sell them for. So everyone was like, I'm not buying that. They've brought those. Now, however, the price has gone up. I still feel like this is one for the future for Nintendo Switch collectors. Because what you've got to think about is you've got 2 physical releases. One's with Limited Run Games, which you can't trade into CEX at the moment. So right now, it's kind of worthless. Like in America, you've got GameStop. CEX is Great Britain and Europe's like biggest second-hand store. So if you've got nowhere to trade it in, you've got to go to eBay or different websites. You've got to try and sell it privately. There might be a seller's fee, postage fee, a lot of ag. You can't just walk into a store. However, people might think, yeah, I can get a limited run version. But now what you're finding is people will see 2 print versions. Even if CEX eventually do take the game, you're going to see a limited run stamp and a super rare stamp. And this is a super rare stamp with a PEGI rating on it. So this is the OG limited run. So I think the fact that it tanked to 40 and now it's gone up to 75, could this start going up as soon as CEX start taking this game? I don't know if it will happen. I don't know if they're smart enough at CEX or can be bothered enough to want to go, right, we've got 2 versions, 2 covers. We've got super rare game 1. Do we want to take the limited run game? They might have took some mistake. People may have traded in the limited run game. People might have made a killing doing that. Buying a limited run game, trading it in and tripling their money for cash. Maybe that's why it tanked. Then it took them a while to realise. Let me know if you have done that. It'd be interesting to know. I said that recently about the Final Fantasy video. Final Fantasy game collection, the 1 to 6 series in my previous video. But you guys, lovely guys in the comments, you told me about the PEGI rating. You said, no, Scott, you can't trade that into CEX. It's not UK PAL. I don't know if that's the same with this version from Limited Run Games. If they do eventually in the future accept it, this will go up because people will know this is the OG print. That's my 2 pence. That's what I think. Anyway, I can't undo any more buttons. It's 32 degrees while I'm recording this in the UK. I'm losing my voice. I'm on the water. A couple of things to sign off with. First of all, in 24 hours of the release of this video, Timeless Gaming Convention will be happening in Bury, Manchester Arcade Club. I'll be there. If you have got a Wednesday off work and you can get down there and you fancy coming down, look up Timeless Gaming Convention on Google. I'll put a picture up on the screen now. I'll put a link in description if you want to check it out. But if you can make Arcade Club, it'd be great to see you there. If you do want to go, you can get 15% of your tickets by using my discount code Marathon24. I'll put the link in the description. Also, if you want to join a Discord for the Marathon Gaming Community Hub, just to talk to other members of the channel, it's completely free. There's no payment or money involved. It's just friends of the channel and you guys that watch. So rather than talking in the comments, we can talk between videos and after videos and just have a general little chit chat about all things gaming and then some. So yeah, if you want to join that, if you know what Discord is, it's basically just an app, a social media app, a bit like a forum. Anyone can set up a page on that. A lot of people use it in the gaming community, and I set up a page after using it for a couple of years. I'm in a few different Discord groups myself. And yeah, come on over. I'll put a invite link in the description. And before you go, make sure you leave me a little comment. Let me know, have you got any of these games? And tell me how much of an idiot I am. I say, Scott, Marathon Gaming, you're a twat. Just put it in there, because we all know it's true. But yeah, hope you all guys have a nice week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay cool in that hot summer sun. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. Bye-bye. I'm Mario. And I am the Hedgehog. And today, with this...